Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Undercover Comics, coming to you from Seoul, South Korea. This is my first CGC comic unboxing. I went and got these books graded several months ago. I've been waiting for them to come back. I honestly was just going to go to bed and just stack them away in the morning, but I figured I have a little time tonight. My wife's away, so why not? I sent off the larger box. Actually, I sent this off as one shipment to CGC, but I went off and got the smaller box of comics pressed and cleaned before grading, so I hope to get those back at a higher grade. And the larger box there came back within a month. As you can see at the bottom, it got a little smashed up, but you know, that's to be expected. You know, the shipping people, you know, they're really busy, they don't really care. So it's ultimately your responsibility and CGC's to make sure that anything in that box is not broken or destroyed. I'm a pretty crazy person when it comes to packing my books and when it comes to securing my books. So I know that when I sent them out, they were flawless. I know when they arrived at CGC, they were probably also flawless, but we'll see. And I'm expecting a lot of 9/8s in that bigger box. So there's two boxes, there's two comics in this box, and one of these should be a 9/4, 9/2, and the other one should just be a 9/8. Again, the second one didn't actually need to be pressed and cleaned at all. It's a newer book. I just saw a little something that I didn't really care for, and again, I'm weird about my books, so I decided to get it pressed. It was a little bit more expensive, but I felt like it was worth it, so let's see what I got. And again, this larger book, there's one book in here that's going to be a 9/6 probably, maybe a 9/4, because the cover has a slight gash on it, but it's, you know, my favorite cover, and I decided that I was going to get it graded anyway, and I plan on keeping it for myself. So hopefully whatever's happening down here isn't going to affect the quality of either the case or the books that are contained and housed inside. So let's just go ahead and open these up, see what I got. So we'll start with the larger box. Looks good. So I'm gonna do my best to try to, you know, hide the scores because again, I'm a little excited too. So I do see, hopefully it doesn't actually, okay, I just saw one. Well, that kind of blows, I guess. All right, so I'll just turn these around. So what I'll do first is I'll just pull them out of the box and I'll flash them above the screen. So here's the first one, the one I already saw. And I'll do my best to cover. So this is Agents of Atlas, The War of the Realms, and my score, 9/8. Looks pretty good. I'm not gonna pull it out of the bag. Again, I'm pretty weird, but it's what I expected, right? 9/8. Casing looks beautiful. I will admit the cases look very nice. It is very presentable, and I'm pretty happy with that. So cool, 9/8 for Agents of Atlas. And again, this is the first appearance of several characters, although none of them are actually mentioned on the label of the book. So on the label of the book, none of the characters are mentioned, which is kind of lame and a little disappointing, but what can you do? All right. All right, cool. So I'm going to stuff that one away. And I'm going to pull out the next one without seeing it. So this is my, Captain Marvel and Star. This is Captain Marvel number 8. This is the second printing, which has Star directly on the front cover. See if you can see that. And my score, 9/8. Very cool. All right, that's also what I expected. It does have the author and the artist, and it also has the character's name on the front cover. Very cool. So first appearance of Star. Very cool. All right, just what I wanted. And so far, I'm happy with my scores here. But, you know, it's to be expected because I do take care of my books. And so the next book here is going to be my Silver Surfer #2. Silver Surfer Black #2. Silver Surfer Black #2 is 9/8. All right, also exactly what I thought it would be. Now, this is the first appearance of the Void Knight. It's not declared on the cover either, which is also disappointing. Maybe I need to declare it, but I don't feel like I should have to do that, especially if I'm paying the grading company to do the service. But it's neither here nor there. I know what it is. Silver Surfer Black and a 9/8. Cool. Okay, so the next book up. Oh, this is one of my favorite books here. It's a very good book. I really, really like this book. Hopefully you can see it here. This is Kanto #1, the second printing from IDW. I got this book, well, literally the day it came out, sent directly to me. There were a lot of production and shipping issues with this book, and I know a lot of books were damaged. In fact, my Kanto #1 was severely damaged, and this one arrived and looked pretty good. So I kept it, I sealed it up, and then a couple weeks ago, I sent it out. So let's see what I got. 9/8. Very cool. All right, so these are all 9/8 so far, white pages. Very cool. Okay, so the next book up is one of my favorite books. Actually, a little worried because I sent off 2 of these books. And there is always the possibility that one of these books came back in a higher grade. But that's not a problem. I plan on keeping these books. This is the cover that I liked. This is X-Men or House of X, Powers of X. This particular issue is Powers of X. #1. And this is the variant print by Mark Brooks. Okay, let's see what I got. 9/8. Let's hope this same holds true for the House of X #1 Brooks variant. So this is a connecting cover, and let's hopefully CGC put them back in order the same way that I sent them. That way I can pull out the next one. But this is the book. Very beautiful. First appearance of a lot of X-Men characters that will be hopefully utilized in the future. It's taking me a while to pull these out because I'm trying not to see the scores here. Okay, so this is the one that I am slightly worried about. This is the Goon. This is the Goon #2. And the Alex Ross variant cover. But I know this book was going to come back with a lower grade simply because it has a gash on the cover. And you can't see it, but I know it's there. And if I know it's there, then the grader knows it's there. And that's fine, because I'm keeping this book. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So let's just see what the grader gave me. 9.6. Okay, I'll take it. I was expecting a 9.6 or a 9.4. So that's precisely what I thought it would be. That's good news. That's pretty good. Look at that. That's just phenomenal. I love that cover. It's one of my favorite covers. Great story. Excellent story. Excellent artwork. Always late. But this is an amazing book. If you can actually pick this book up in your hometown, at your LCS, go ahead and do that. All right, so this is another book. This is House of X, #2, cover A, trade dress. And I fully suspect this will come back as a 9.8. I take really good care of my books. There's no way that this is not a 9.8. It has to be. Otherwise, I will cry. So this book should come back with something very, very nice. Actually, I inspected the book, obviously, before I put it in the bag and board. But other than that, I have not touched this book whatsoever. And this is the origin story of Moira McTaggart and her reveal as a mutant. So this is one of my favorite stories of the House of X, Powers of X series, for obvious reasons. It was actually one of the only human-centered, human-focused stories in the whole thing. The rest of it was just like massive world building. But I'm okay with that. I really love the story. It was a great story. And I think it really, he built the sandbox for the X-Men universe, and I think he did a great job with it. What did I get? 9.8. I'm very happy about that, because if I got anything less than that, I'd be a little salty. Way salty, actually, because I know how much care I took after I saw the quality of this book. It's phenomenal. Excellent cover. Beautiful cover. All right. Yeah, so I guess, CGC did not grade them in order, obviously. Or perhaps they graded them in order, but they definitely did not package them in order. So this is my favorite cover of all time. I love this cover. I absolutely love this cover. There's so much here. There's so much to like about it. There's absolutely so much to enjoy about this cover. In the water, you can see the Hulk. It's his face down at the bottom there. There's Bruce Banner. And then there's Dr. Fry. This is Dr. Fry's first appearance. This is the Virgin cover. Now, I know, the trade dress is a lot more popular for obvious reasons, but I really like this one more. Now, the trade dress has one thing going for it, and the lettering actually looks really good with the color. The yellow lettering looks phenomenal. I really do like that, but the Virgin variant is just, oh my God, look at that. I actually paid above cover for this one. I paid about 12 bucks for this. No, wait a minute, I'm sorry. I actually paid about $30 for this one. $30 for this. And I'm totally okay with that. Normally, I only pay cover. I typically, unless it's an incentive, which this wasn't, this was a 5th printing. But unless it's an incentive, I'm not trying to pay more than cover for it. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. God, look at that cover. But I was willing to take the L on that one because this one's amazing. I love this. I'm keeping this. This is not going anywhere. And 9.8. And again, this is the Immortal Hulk, the Legacy number 719, first appearance of Dr. Fry. Now, they put it here. They did all the work here for this book. They gave me the first appearance. They even told me what the Legacy number was. But they wouldn't do it for the Agents of Atlas, where there's like essentially 5 first appearances, which that's just nonsensical. But okay, fair enough. I mean, someone should call the Office of Inconsistency, because that's exactly what's going on there. But all right, so the next book up, absolutely going to be a high grade, hopefully 9.8, obviously. But I looked at the printing here, and all the copies that I have pages kind of peek out a little bit beyond the cover. And you know what? From what I saw of all the copies that I have, from just not this one, but from the cover A and the cover B, which is the art germ variant, they all have this little issue. Obviously, that's just a manufacturing defect or manufacturing flaw. So I hope they don't ding too hard for that on the score. But this is Batman 92. This is the incentive variant. I know there's a black and white. I believe there's also a foil cover, but don't quote me on that. But this is the one that I liked. And I got this one for really cheap, actually. I got this for like, I think, $15, $20? 15 or 20 bucks. The first meeting of Harley Quinn and Punchline. And the first cover appearance, actually, I guess this will be the second or third possibly cover appearance of Punchline. And my score? 9.8. Cool. Very cool. Jorge Jimenez is an excellent artist. He's wonderful. He's an amazing artist. His new Scarecrow design is next level. Him and Tenian are killing it right now. So I guess they didn't sting me too hard for the, or sting me at all, I guess, for the manufacturing defect there. I can see a little bit of the comic actually peeking out there. But that's all good. No worries. All right, so the next book is a 92, so they graded these in order, obviously. This is also Batman 92. I think this is the actual first cover appearance of Punchline. Now, this one, I gotta say, I don't know what this is going to come back as. Like I said, all of the prints that I have came back like this. Look at the barcode there. Look at that. I mean, who's supposed to do anything about that? That's clearly just a manufacturing issue. And again, the pages sneak out past the cover. And yeah, just issues. All of the copies I had have this problem. Every 92 that I had. It took like, I don't know, 5 months to get this comic in the first place. And then when it comes out, it's got all these issues. So again, this is the same comic, just the cover A. Let's see what the score is here. 9.8, very cool. I'm also happy with that score. All right, yep, presents very well. And this is a book that I really like also. This is the New York Comic Con variant of the Spider-Verse. First appearance of probably 3 or 4 characters here. I think Spider-Zero's in there. The New York Comic Con variant, so it's all black and white minus Spider-Man himself, or Miles Morales Spider-Man. And I wonder what score I got here. So you can see at the bottom there. All right, 9.8, cool. Everything's working out. So let's see who this is. First appearance of, oh, doesn't say. I know there are first appearances in this book, several first appearances in this book. It's been a while since I've read this. It's been months and months and months since I've read this. And, yep. All right, now this is the House of X #1. This is the second half of the connecting cover by Mark Brooks. And this is also host of a first appearance, a couple first appearances in this book as well. And looks great. Cover looks amazing. No corner issues. It's a beautiful book. I hope it gets a 9.8 as well. So just you can see the design here. I really, really like the way this is done. Weapon X in there. You got the Krakoan flowers. Looks great. It's a wonderful cover. I think he killed it with this. Absolutely killed it. But the score, let's see if the score killed it. 9.8. Cool. That's what's up. So yeah, this is Jonathan Hickman, Pepe Larraz. Alright, so I think I went over my recording, so I apologize about that. But it's a great series. Good job, Hickman. But this is Punchline. This is the Art Germ variant. This is also 92. Again, the interior, of the comic is, protruding past the cover. Barcode looks great. Comic looks great. Everything looks beautiful except, and I honestly don't even have a problem with this at all, and obviously CGC doesn't either, but this is the only thing that I would see if I was potentially buying this book and I didn't know anything about it, and I hadn't seen any other copies besides mine. I would think perhaps that might be an issue, but it's not apparently. It's a beautiful cover. He did a great job. What did I get? 9.8. Very cool. All right. I'm going to move this on a little bit quicker here because I'm not sure how much time I have on this battery. But, yes. Okay, so this is my last one. Also a Batman 92 with a second, I guess, appearance of Punchline. And also, again, internal comic book pages are protruding. And should also be 9.8. Yeah. Cool. So now we're into the part where I'm a little nervous. I actually don't know what I'm going to get here. One of the books is going to be a 9.8. I just take care of my books like that. In fact, I really felt like I wasted money by getting it pressed at all. But I really just felt like the book needed to be pressed. I saw some things that I didn't really like. Not that they were even bad yet. It just looked like they were going to possibly one day be bad. And there's no way I can prove that. I felt like I wasted my money when I sent that book off. But I also didn't want the one book that I have to come back alone. It's kind of a weird thing. But, you know, it is what it is. It's done now. They're here now. I sent that box off in September. Both of them, actually. I sent all of them off in September. And the larger box came back in October of last year. This box, however, did not come back until March 23rd. Like, that's how long it took. It took from September to March for me to get these two books back. Considering how much time it took, I really, really hope I've got some pretty stellar scores in here. But it is what it is. Again, there's one book here that I'm not going to get rid of. And there's one book here that, I don't know. I'll see how I feel about it. I really like the character, but we'll see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. So I'm going to pull all of this out. Wow, this is packaged really well. Not going to lie about that. Like, they had the, inside the box was the box with one set of foam and bubble wrap. So inside laid this, wrapped around the internal bubble, and that is got its own set of bubbles, right? That's like 4 layers of bubble wrap there. So great job, CGC. Hats off to you for that one. Again, I still don't necessarily agree with everything you do, but you do a good job with the shipping. So you'll get some brownie points for that one. All right. So I don't know which side to open here, so I don't see what the grades are, but I'm gonna do my best and just take a gamble. Okay, I'm upside down. That's good. So that's perfect. All right. So this is Batman Beyond, number 37. This is the first appearance of Batwoman Beyond. And I bought this book. I bought 3 copies of this book. And when I pulled this book out, I bought some Mylars. And there's one set of Mylars that I bought that were just way too thick. They were just way too thick. And when I put them in, I felt like it was wrong. Now, I ordered the appropriate Mylars. Someone sent me the wrong ones. And I compared them and I was like, wait a minute, these are the wrong ones, but it was already too late. I already put these comics inside the Mylars that I had them in. And when I realized they were too small and that they were not the comic book Mylars that I ordered, I immediately went back into my box. I pulled them out. And I was like, no, they still look fine. But you know, this one has there's like a little waving at the bottom, like right here. And it really bothered me because I take really good care of my books. In fact, I open my books like in a taco holder style so that they don't even bend, so that the spine doesn't even open up all the way, right? So I open them like a taco so the book doesn't fold out 100%. I'm a weirdo like that, so that's just how I roll with my books. But anyways, I saw a little waving at the bottom of this book and I really, really didn't like it. It was nothing wrong, nothing terrible, but that's what I did. So anyways, I sent this book off, I got it pressed, and I was like really feeling like an idiot for doing that because I know the book is in great condition. The book was beautiful. It just had a little something that I thought would maybe later in its existence be something that I didn't like. So instead of sending out one of the other 2 books that I had, I sent this one out and I got it pressed. So I guess we'll see what the score is here. 9.6. Okay, that's all right. That's disappointing. That is disappointing. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all, and that's a little frustrating. I never opened this book. I never read this book. So a 9.6 after being pressed and cleaned, brand new book, 9.6. I mean, it's nonsensical. I'm actually gonna hop online right now and figure out what CGC said about this, because I don't see any information. Obviously, they wouldn't put that on. They wouldn't put that on the case. White pages, 9.6. There's probably not going to be any information. I'm going to jump on to the CGC. I'm going to log into CGC right now and see what CGC said about this. So I'll be right back. Okay, so actually CGC had nothing to say. There are literally no notes. There's no greater information. There's no nothing about the score here. And that's really frustrating because if it's a 9.6, that means that there's a noticeable defect or something that's noticeable here. Let's see if we can see something here. That means there's a noticeable defect somewhere. Corners look super crisp. Corners look crisp. Corners look crisp. I don't know what could be the issue here. It's like plastic. That's the plastic. I honestly don't know what the issue could be. And they wrote no notes or comments about why the book got a 9.6. I think for any book that's of this age that has been cleaned and pressed, there should be a comment that explains, hey, maybe it was a manufacturing defect, something on the inside. Maybe there's color issues. There's no justification for this. There's no reason why this would be a 9.6. Now I'm not upset with a 9.6, but I am a little salty because number one, that just doesn't make sense. And I do understand that these are just people, but there's just really no accountability there, right? There's no transparency. They didn't tell me what was wrong. And that's kind of what I expect if I'm paying for the service. So that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think that's a little shady. And this is one of those things that I really don't like about services like this. Now, I mean, the case is beautiful. Case is wonderful. My comic is beautiful. But ultimately, I'm still allowing CGC to determine the value of my book, right? So it's kind of a weird thing. I know this book is wonderful. I feel like if I even crack this thing, then it would come back higher. Any defects that were on this book would absolutely have to be the result of the pressing or the handling by CGC. Or CCS, right? There's literally nothing else to say about it. This book was beautiful when I sent it out. That's whack. So that's unfortunate. Now this is the book that I needed to have pressed and cleaned. Maybe not cleaned, but definitely pressed. It's an older book. I got this book for like $2. And it looked great. Everything looked fine. It's a book that I plan to keep. I do actually like the new Justice League, especially with Ron B doing it. I think the guy's super creative, and I think the art is well done. But this is my Justice League. So I'm hoping the score here, after being pressed and cleaned, I'm hoping the score, I mean, after seeing a 9.6 on Batman Beyond, this is kind of disgusting. But I'm hoping that I'm getting a 9.2 on this one. 9.2, hopefully, maybe 9.4. I doubt it, but maybe. We'll see. All right, so here we go. 9.4. There you go. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like these two comics being a grade apart is kind of irrational. I mean, the Batman Beyond was fresh off the press. I pre-ordered that book. That book came to the door and it went straight into my collection. Never touched it, never read it. Never touched it, never read it. So after having it pressed, there's literally no justification for a book like that to not come back as a 9.8, especially if this one's coming back at a 9.4. After I read it, it was shipped here, and it's an older book. There's a lot of things going on, and I just feel like that's one of those inconsistencies that I constantly see online about CGC and their grading process, and just the lack of transparency and things of that nature. So I don't know. I mean, happy with the scores I got, but then I do expect those to be the scores because I take care of my books. And ultimately, I really kind of don't need CGC to tell me that my books are top notch. I know they are. because I take care of them. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. This is more or less so that other people know. If someone wants to trade, or if I'm ever looking to sell a book because I need to make space in my life for other things, then yeah, I mean, you know, you'll have an idea of what the book is graded at. I mean, now 9.4, this could be, depending on the day, depending on the grader, could be a 9.2 or could be a 9.6. I don't know. Batman Beyond could be a 9.6, a 9.4, or a 9.8. I don't know. It just kind of depends. I mean, there's no information about why Batman Beyond got a 9.6. There's no reason for it. So I guess I'm just stuck here guessing about what could potentially be wrong with the book, although there are no grader notes. It's kind of irrational. I did actually check the Goon, because that was the only other 9.6 I got. I did check the Goon, and the Goon actually did have a grader note. But it was obvious, and I knew it was going to have a 9.6 because there's a defect on the cover, and I knew that. So telling me what's obvious doesn't really work if I already know before I send it in that there's a giant gash on the cover. Like, I know that's the case. But if I send in a book that's a year old, it's, in my opinion, flawless, and I send that book in, and then it gets pressed and graded, and it comes back a 9.6, I need an explanation for that, right? Like, that needs to be explained. So that's just a little sad, a little disappointing, but it is what it is. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace.